Hi, Jason Phillips from Auto Appraise, autoappraise.com. Down at the Kissimmee Auto Auction 2014. It's a little warmer here in January than it is everywhere else in the country right now, getting buried with snow. Doing an inspection for a client, 1967 Shelby GT 500 4-speed car. Just spent about 3 hours going around the car, looking it over good. This video is going to be uploaded so that the potential viewer can view it and see what he's getting from a distance. If you need service like this, 800-301-3886. For starters, these are the correct 10-spoke Shelby wheels. These are actually Shelby caps, but those are caps for a Kelsey Hayes wheel, not a 10-spoke Shelby, so they are Shelby caps, just not necessarily correct for those wheels. Badging on both the fender and the trunk look nice. They have that real subtle gold hue and light embossment versus the bright, shocking gold of that reproduction gas cap. These taillight bezels are reproduction. Those exhaust tips look real nice. Those are correct. Underneath, the car's there's not much light here, so I apologize, but it'll brighten up some. It's got the dual hump transition into the exhaust. Correct transverse mount muffler. Floors are all restored in red oxide primer. Pinch welds look really good. There's only 2 layers of metal along here, and factory pinch welds are easily visible. Boxed frame rails look really nice. Can't see where anybody's MIG welded down the edge of them on the flanges, which is usually how they get reinstalled. Pretty sufficiently clean. The weep holes are open on the rockers. The paint looks like perhaps a single stage acrylic lacquer. Got a little bit of wheel marks, very subtle. It still has really nice reflective quality for a single stage. Some of the panels were painted over with clear, so they're cleared over. This one was not. You notice a slight color difference between the deck lid and the rear body panel, and that color difference exists there and on the other side as well. Otherwise, the color on the car is pretty good. This scoop on the other side has a slight, subtle color difference. Repop bumpers are in pretty good shape. See the color on that? Got original car light stencils on the glass all around. Windshield's an original PPG unit. The car is in the Shelby registry number 2174. We looked that up, and that is correct. It's a late Shelby. There's a few things underneath the hood, excuse me, that are of concern. This rubber seal is not attached with the proper staples, and the holes aren't there in the core support, indicating that that core support's been changed. Doesn't have the correct divots here. It's a later car, and those are inboard lights, which are incorrect. Should have the outboard lights. At least I believe that is correct. The power steering cooler mounted right here on top of the power steering pump, that should actually go through these holes in the core support and be mounted up here. So aftermarket water bottle, aftermarket fan shroud, changed core support, and some things that aren't quite right. This grill is a little bit too thin for an OEM piece. That's reproduction. This nose may well be a reproduction nose. Does have the original, I'm not going to focus on that too long, does have the original Shelby VIN tag in place. Those, I believe, are not the correct carburetors for this vehicle. There's an L bracket that should be here where the throttle return spring should be mounted, and it's missing. And down here, I don't have enough light to show you, but there should be a tube coming out of the exhaust manifold, heading back up to the back end, and it's completely missing. The Bakelite connections on top of the coil should clip over with a kind of a covered shielded nut, and those are incorrect. It does have an auto light distributor. I think the valve covers and the air cleaner are original. We can't really take them apart at an auction. It does have an original Shelby hood. It has had some repair up here. Maybe the car had a little bit of past history that would include some damage, but we're not certain of that. Not making any assumptions. The unfortunate, you're not going to be able to see the suspension, but it's detailed nicely like the Shelby suspension should be. Has the correct color painted on the edges of the control arms. Some bushings restored. The stripes are cleared over here on the hood and on the cowl. The hood fits a little ill, but these hoods never fit that well anyway, did they? Jason Phillips from Auto Appraise doing an auction inspection for a potential buyer. If you need some service like this, let us know. We go out and do them privately at houses or come to auctions and do these inspections. These are original OEM seat covers. You can tell by that slight blue colored thread in the seams, and just the general look and feel of the material is better than the aftermarket. The original knit inserts, and the springs are a little, you know, these are not they've not been rebuilt. 4-speed rally pack gauges. The steering wheel's been replaced or restored. The gauges are really super clean. So is the whole dash panel, which has probably likely been replaced. Correct Shelby seat belts. It's a good looking driver quality car. Went around the car with a magnet and a digital paint gauge, and the car gauge is out pretty good. The driver's door down there doesn't have any adhesion in the bottom corner, but the car pretty much has readings all around of 5 to 8 mils of paint in all the good areas. There's 4. So it doesn't feel like there's a whole lot of mud or filler in the car, maybe a little bit of repair in the door corners, but a presentable driver quality car. Pinion snubbers are in place on the rear end. The rear quarter panel splashes. You won't be able to see these, but that panel up inside there, the drain plugs are not in it, and they should be. A little bit of rust had occurred in one of them. The car is in the Shelby registry. Door corners look really good from inside, so do the door bottoms. Doors don't show much sag. Car's showing 25,000 miles, and hard to speculate on the originality. Pedals do look semi-original or older reproduction, and they look in pretty good shape. Jason Phillips from Auto Appraise. AutoAppraise.com, just finishing up an inspection for a potential buyer on a 1967 Shelby GT 500 Fastback. 800-301-3886. Let us know if we can do an inspection for you sometime. Leave us some feedback. Thanks a lot.